You are listening to Theoretical Insights of D&D.
Lord, give me a fireball!
Screw how hot your skin is, my bars are hotter. Let me tell you what this is. Let me tell you, you listeners, if you don't know what the zombie has packing in his decaying flesh. You shut up, Cancer Bones. You gonna be a zombie if that cancer doesn't get cured.
Hey guys, I'm Rob.
And I'm Eric.
Welcome back to another year with Theoretical Insights of D&D. We hope you enjoyed Christmas. We hope you enjoyed your new year. But we're getting right back into it with a new and improved monster list.
Is it really improved?
Well, I would think so, because the more monsters we cover, we're getting into the actual scary stuff now. Like CR9, it starts getting pretty dang serious.
Yeah, but that's just... I don't know. I never knew scary was an improvement.
Well, think of it this way. Whenever you're in a fight in D&D, especially if it's supposed to be one of them to where if it's really one of those roleplay heavy games,
Yeah.
would you not want to have your character be like, I don't know about this?
Well, playing in your game,
That's different.
there has been several tears shed because of those moments.
Well, I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm gonna kill off one of the characters and make a friend crash his car into a tree.
I plead the fifth on that. He did crash his car, and he told me it was because of Kriv, but that's not my problem. I didn't have to buy a new car. Also, we are coming to you with a new celebrity list, but in a different way. We are still going to rate these monsters on a scale of 1 to 10 for cool factor. But as far as our celebrity list, these are where they're going to be placed if they're a 5 and above.
Yeah. And this is not really a
this is in no
cool
specific
to not
order.
cool list. It's
This is no specific order, but a placeholder to honor those that we have lost this year. This past year. We're recording this in December, so that we lost in 2023. Just a few of them. So first off, we have Jimmy Buffett.
Yep.
Bob Barker, Matthew Perry, Sir Michael Gambon, and Tina Turner. Wherever she is, she's probably still rolling.
the Thunderdome.
Rolling on the river.
Yeah.
But we honor those that have crossed over that bridge into another life, and we hope that they rest in peace.
It brought us many years of joy.
But in the meantime, we have monsters to cover and to lose our minds about. So, first off, we got a pretty long list here. We're starting off with the Abhorrent Overlord. It's a large fiend, lawful evil, surprise, surprise. Has an AC of 16 and 136 hit points, or you can take the max of 16d10 plus 48 for 208 health. Has a movement speed of 30 and a flying speed of 60. Plus 7 to Constitution and Charisma saving throws. A plus 7 to Deception, Intimidation, and Persuasion. Surprise, surprise, there's another fiend/devil that's really good with Charisma.
Mm-hmm.
It is resistant to cold and necrotic, immune to poison, and immune to the poison condition. Has a dark vision of 120 feet with a passive perception of 12. So it's actually kind of surprising. I mean, his wisdom is only a 14, so it's a plus 2. But I really thought that once we get up into CR9, their passive perception would be a little bit better than this.
Yeah, but you got to think, it's just an overlord. It's not a guard or something. This is not going to be your stand at the gate, you got to sneak past type of monster.
Well, yeah, fair. Speaks Abyssal, Common, and Infernal. And surprise, surprise, it is a challenge 9. Hence why it's on the CR9 list. It also has innate spellcasting. The Abhorrent Overlord spellcasting ability is Charisma. Spell save of DC of 15. And it can innately cast the following spells requiring no material components. 1 time each per day. Confusion, Crown of Madness, and Suggestion.
Ooh, that Crown
3.
of Madness is scary.
Well, not even so much Crown of Madness, but Suggestion as well. Because Suggestion
Yeah.
targets more than one. If 5 out of the 6 of your party fell, like what happened to me in my Sunday night games, you are the only one that is still in the fight.
But
Because
remember,
he just straight commanded them to just stand there and not fight anymore.
didn't we lose Kriv to Crown of Madness?
No.
What was he?
No,
I thought somebody. No, it was the dwarf that was Crown of Madness.
yeah, it was the dwarf that
That
was
is
Crown of Madness, and the mind player sucked Crib's brain out of his skull.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Insatiable greed. The abhorrent overlord can sense the presence of gold within 1,000 feet of itself. It can determine which location has the greatest amount of gold and can sense the direction to that site.
Mm.
If the gold is being moved, it knows the direction of the movement. It can't locate gold if any thickness of clay or lead, even a thin sheet, blocks a direct path between it and the gold. Oh, and good news, it's got magic resistance, because that's exactly what it needs.
Who would have thunk it?
It also has the multi-attack ability to where it makes 2 attacks with its claws. Now, the claw is a melee weapon attack with a +9 to hit, 5-foot reach, 2d8 plus 5 slashing damage, 2d8 plus 5 slashing damage, plus 4d6 necrotic damage.
Yeah, that
The
necrotic
abhorrent
hurts.
well, it gets better. The abhorrent overlord regains hit points equal to half the amount of necrotic damage dealt if the target is a creature.
So it's got life steal on its claws.
Now, what is the average of a d6? 3, right? Or
Yeah.
technically rounding up 4?
Roughly. Yeah.
Times that by 4 is 16.
Mm-hmm.
Per round, it's getting 8 health back per attack. And it makes 2 of those per action. So realistically, unless the creature has immunity or resistance to necrotic damage,
Mm-hmm.
it's healing anywhere from, let's say realistically, 10 to 17 health per turn. It doesn't sound like much.
Well, see, that's really cool and all, but remember, this is a CR9. It's gonna be taking some big hits.
Well, maybe, because CR9, the challenge rating is kind of difficult to get under like a decent understanding as to what it is. You could throw this specific CR9 at a group of 6 5th level adventurers.
So it would basically be healing one person's attack per turn.
Pretty
It's
much,
not
yeah.
it's not game changing, but it does lengthen the fight quite a bit.
It would be a very hard fight because of the fact that it's a +9 to hit with 4d6 necrotic damage.
Yeah.
But if you wanted it to be a easier fight, you can put a CR9 against 6th level creatures.
I mean, it does have an armor class of 16, so it's not going to be that hard to hit.
No, it's not going to be hard to hit. The issue is, like I heard Matt Mercer said something on Critical Role one time. They were in a fight. It was a single creature that he had pulled out against them, and somebody said it's got legendary actions. Well, yeah, there are 6 of you and only 1 of it.
Yeah, that is true.
So the challenge rating is really weird to try and get an understanding for, because like you go on to the Goblinist or something, I think that's the website, and do a random encounter generator.
Oh, yeah.
6th level party members,
Mm-hmm.
a hard fight is an adult dragon.
Well, yeah.
That's an adult dragon.
Yeah.
So it's like, oftentimes you think, well, CR9, they're going to have to be at least 9th level and going to have at least 4. No, you could take a CR9 with 4 6th level characters.
Yeah.
You just have to be really careful.
And also, this is not one of these creatures that's going to be fighting it by itself.
No, this is
It's
not.
going to have at least 2 lackeys near it.
Yeah, probably a few CR3s or something like
Yeah.
that. But it also has Storm of Crows on a recharge of 6. The abhorrent overlord conjures a swarm of spectral crows and harpies in a 20-foot radius sphere centered on a point the overlord can see within 120 feet of it. The sphere remains for 1 minute or until the Overlord loses concentration, as if he's concentrating on a spell, and the area is lightly obscured and difficult terrain. Any creature that moves into the area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there must make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw. A creature takes 3d10 slashing damage plus 3d10 psychic damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. 6d10
Yeah.
for a 1 minute concentration spell-like effect. And it's the same size as Fireball.
This is the Raven Queen's Spirit Guardians, basically.
Well, yeah, you know what? It could
It's the
probably
Raven
be
Queen's
worked in
Chipper
there.
Shredder.
It could probably be worked in like that.
It's a Raven Queen's Chipper Shredder.
And realistically, the art that they use for it's
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
neat.
it does look good.
Honestly,
it gives
reminds-
me Egyptian vibes.
I was about to say, it reminds me a lot of some of the stuff we were seeing in Conan Exiles.
That is true. Babylonian stuff, yeah.
Yep, Babylonian and Egyptian, something in the desert. Honestly, this guy I think would be at least a 6.
Yeah, I could
So
see
he's
him place this.
deserving of sharing a place with Bob Barker.
He doesn't deserve to be placed with Bob Barker, though.
Well, you know what I mean.
I mean, Bob Barker was an overlord if the price was right, so yeah, I'll give
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah.
I give him
He knew that the price was right.
Yeah.
Next up is a monster that we actually covered with Marie, the Abominable Yeti.
Oh, this guy again, yeah.
And you say, why are we covering it twice? Because it's stupid. Okay?
it is pretty stupid.
15 AC, natural, 137 health, or you can take the max of 11d12 plus 66 for 199.
Yeah.
Quick maths. Movement speed of 40 feet with a climbing speed of 40 feet. Perception of +5 and a stealth +4. Why would a huge monstrosity have a stealth of +4?
Because it's Yeti, and if it's in the snow, it's going to have a +4 to stealth.
That's stupid. Okay.
It's lore, man. It's lore. We'll call it logic.
It is immune to fire damage. I'm just kidding. It's immune to
I was
cold
about
damage.
to turn around and smack you.
It's immune to cold damage with
Yeah.
a dark vision of 60 feet and a passive perception of 15. So it's harder to sneak by the Yeti than it is an Overlord.
Well, this is a wild beast, basically.
Well, yeah.
The other is a commander of armies. This is a wild beast.
Oh, and it speaks Yeti. Surprise.
Well,
surprise.
no, duh.
So, fear of fire. If the Yeti takes fire damage, it has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks until the end of its next turn. That's the saving grace.
Yeah.
If you're facing one of these things, okay? I'll just be honest with you. It also has keen smell. The Yeti has advantage on wisdom, perception checks that rely on smell. Snow camouflage. The Yeti has advantage on dexterity, stealth checks made to hide in snowy terrain.
See?
And there's the need for the +4 because he gets advantage on it.
Yeah. Yeah, you yeah.
That's crazy. Multi-attack. The Yeti can use its chilling gaze and make 2 claw attacks.
Mhm.
Okay. This is where it starts to get stupid.
Yep.
And it almost doesn't fit in a CR9. It almost sounds like a CR11, but I have a feeling it's because of its hit points not being that much.
And you're probably only going to be fighting one of these on a mountainside.
Claw, +11 to hit, 5-foot reach, single target. 2d6 plus 7 slashing damage, plus 2d6 cold damage. So it's actually got a really good damage output with just its claws, doing 4d6 plus 7 if it hits. With a +11, it's most likely going to hit.
Yeah.
Chilling gaze. The Yeti targets one creature it can see within 30 feet of it. If the target can see the Yeti, the target must succeed on a DC 18 Constitution saving throw against this magic or take 6d6 cold damage and then be paralyzed for 1 minute unless it's immune to cold damage. The target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on a success. The target's saving throw If the target saving throw is successful or the effect ends on it, the target is immune to this for 1 hour.
It's kind of like an icy Medusa.
Well, here's the problem. Okay, paralyzed. A paralyzed creature is incapacitated and can't move or speak. The creature automatically fails strength and dexterity saving throws.
Mm-hmm.
Attack rolls against the creature have advantage. Any attack that hits the creature is a critical hit if the attacker is within 5 feet of the creature.
Yeah, it's gonna be sitting on a side of a snowy mountain. You're gonna walk past it. It's gonna chilling gaze you, and then claw you.
Well, it's
And you're
not
dead.
even. It's chilling gaze, and then 2 attacks at advantage. And if they hit, they're automatic crits, which would be 4d6 plus 7 plus 4d6 cold damage.
Yeah.
That is stupid. Oh, and it also has a cold breath, or on a recharge of 6. The Yeti exhales a 30-foot cone of frigid air. Each creature in the area must make a DC 18 Constitution saving throw, taking 10d8 cold damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. So, you automatically fail strength and dex saves, but guess what you can't get away from if you're paralyzed from the chilling gaze? The cold breath. That's straight up lunatic levels, dude.
It's yeah.
But it's so cool.
It is really cool.
Like, you hear Abominable Yeti and it's like, okay, yeah, it's a Yeti. And then you read it. And it's doing all
Well,
of this extra stuff.
It's abominable. It's more than just a Yeti.
Well, I mean, I get what you mean, but still. It's like I was telling Marie, when I think of the Abominable Yeti, I think of the guy out of Monsters, Inc. It isn't what you think it is. How about a yellow snow cone? That's what I think of when I think Abominable Yeti.
It's
Well,
not his
abominable
chilling
snowman,
gaze, but
anyway.
his chilling snow cone. That
This
paralyzes
guy is an absolute 9 on the cool factor.
you. Oh yeah,
Absolute 9.
yeah. This is up there with Bob Barker.
Well, it's actually up there with all 5 of the ones that we mentioned earlier, because
Yeah.
we're not going to put any of them on a specific number. But
Well, I mean, this is a Bob Barker. That's how cool it is.
Michael Gambon, dude. There's some magic involved in this, and he was Dumbledore.
That is true. I think the Yeti could drive better than Gamma.
A little bit, maybe. I don't know. It was pretty entertaining.
Put a Yeti on a snowmobile? Yes.
Next up,
Power.
we have the Ankylok, and I think I'm saying that right. It is a huge undead. 15 armor class, 157 hit points, or you can take the 15d12 plus 60 for a maximum of, let me do some quick math. It'd be 178 plus 60, 238 health, I think. I think 238 is
Do you
the
want me
number.
to quick calculate that?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind. 15 times 12 plus 60.
240.
I wasn't too far off.
Not too far off.
So, plus 6 to wisdom saving throws, plus 6 to perception. It is immune to poisoned. It is also immune to charmed, exhaustion, frightened, and poisoned. Surprise. With a dark vision of 60 feet and a passive perception of 16. This guy's actually really, really perceptive if you really think about it.
Well, if you look at it, it looks like an undead hound
It looks
mixed
more
with
like
a bear and a golem and a gargoyle it's just scary looking.
Well, thanks to its unusual nature, it does not require food, air, or drink, or sleep.
That makes sense.
And with multi-attack, the Ankylok makes 2 claw attacks and 1 entrapping rend attack. That's not or, that's and 1, okay? The claw is a plus 10 to hit, 5-foot reach. 2d10 plus 6 piercing damage. If the target is a large or smaller creature, it must succeed on a DC 18 strength saving throw or be pushed up to 20 feet in a horizontal direction of the Ankylok's choice.
Ooh.
Entrapping Rend, melee weapon attack, plus 10 to hit, 5-foot reach, 5d6 plus 6 piercing damage. And if the target is a large or smaller creature, the target must succeed on a DC 18 strength saving throw or be trapped in the Ankylok's rib cage and grappled. with an escape DC of 18. And until the grapple ends, the target is restrained, and the ankle lock can't use the entrapping rend on another target. Well, here's the thing about restrained. Restrained creatures' speed becomes 0. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. The creature has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws.
Mm-hmm.
So, if somebody's not paying attention, and you happen to be facing one of these, and let's say the fighter rolls poorly on his strength saving throw and is now trapped within the chest cavity of this ankle lock. The wizard, not thinking, is like, okay, lightning bolt.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it hits him, and not only does it hit the ankle lock, it hits the fighter, and his save is at disadvantage.
Well, see, with just the claw attacks, I would have thought this would have had some kind of poison damage or necrotic damage, but it's just a straight up slash piercing.
Yeah, it's just straight piercing. And I think the reason they did that is because it is 5d6 plus 6 piercing on the entrapping rend.
Yeah.
And that is not a reroll. It does that every turn.
Well, see, the entrapping rend has got me thinking this would be something for your big bad evil guy to send 2 or 3 of them out,
yes,
trap somebody, and take them
and
back.
bring them back.
Yep.
Now you'd kind of have to play that if you wanted to do it as like a storytelling moment. You'd have to pretty much send it after somebody that has no strength.
Well, even if you could fudge the rolls to continue the story.
Well, I mean,
if it was a major story point.
Well, that's for when you talk to the player of that character.
Yeah,
like, hey,
yeah.
would you fudge this roll because I really need this story development, and this is what needs to take place for it to happen.
Or you could just not have the roll at all. Like, say, they're at camp, and this thing comes in and just grabs him and takes off through the night.
Oh, you mean like the bear in Without a Paddle when he got a hold of
Yeah.
God, what's his name?
Yeah, exactly.
Seth Green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that to advance the story.
But here's something to think about realistically. 2 claws and an entrapping rend.
Yeah.
The average damage on the claw is 17, and the average damage on the rend is 23. That's 57 damage per turn if he targets the same creature. And I'm sorry, but if I'm DMing a game and a fighter and a barbarian are there, or if it's just a lone frontliner, I'm not going to swipe, move, and take an opportunity attack to go attack somebody else.
Yeah.
It's obviously going to be, okay, this is the clear and present danger to this creature, so I'm going to spend all 3 attacks towards this guy.
Yeah.
You know?
This would be something cool to have like 2 of them, and they fight one of them, and the other's like hidden in a bush or something, or behind a tree.
Well, here's the other thing. For an undead that doesn't have anything to do with like necrotic damage, very, very cool.
Oh yeah,
it's very cool. It is a definite 7.
Yeah, I could see
it's a definite 7. Next up, we have the Bone Devil. The Bone Devil's a freaky looking son of a gun, and it's a little bit scarier than the ankle lock, or the ankle locks. It's an X instead of a C. Armor class of 19 with 142 hit points, or you can take the max of 15d10 plus 60 for 210. 40-foot moving speed with a 40-foot flying speed. It's got an intelligence of +5, wisdom +6, and charisma +7 in that numerical order. Deception of +7 and an insight of +6. It is resistant to cold, bludgeoning and piercing and slashing from non-magical attacks that aren't silvered. Immune to fire and poison, and immune to the poison condition, with a dark vision of 120 feet and a passive perception of 12. Understands infernal and has telepathy of 120 feet.
So, hold on a second. It's resistant to cold.
Yes.
And immune to fire.
Yes. It is so hot that cold doesn't bother it that much. Which honestly makes sense.
Yeah,
like if you wanted, if a ancient red dragon had resistance to cold damage, it would make sense because it spent the last 1,000 years breathing fire.
Yeah.
You know? So, Devil's Sight, its sight is not impeded by darkness. Magical darkness doesn't impede it. Oh, and a returning feature, magic resistance.
Of course, why not?
It also has multi-attack of 3 attacks, 2 with its claws and 1 with its sting. The claw is +8 to hit, 10-foot reach. Because this is a large fiend. The 10-foot reach, 1d8 +4 slashing damage, twice. And the sting is a +8 to hit, 10-foot reach, 2d8 +4 piercing damage. Not that bad. Until you read further on, and it's doing 5d6 poison damage, and the target must succeed on a DC 14 Constitution saving throw or become poisoned for 1 minute. Now, luckily, that Constitution saving throw is very low.
Yeah, 14 is fairly easy to hit at players at this level.
But there's 2 variants for this. There's the variant Bone Devil Polearm. Some Bone Devils have the following action options. The multi-attack, it makes 2 attacks with its hooked polearm and 1 with its sting. It's a +8 to hit, 10-foot reach. 2d12 +4 piercing damage, and if the target is huge or smaller, it's grappled. It escaped DC of 14. Until the grapple ends, the devil can't use its polearm on another target. And the Summon Devil. The devil chooses what to summon and attempts a magical summoning. The Bone Devil has a 40% chance of summoning 2d6 Spined Devils or 1 Bone Devil. Now, the Spined Devil is a... I don't know if it's going to let me.
I'm trying to see.
Here we go. I got it. The Spine Devil is a CR2 with 22 health. Now, here's the thing. That's 2d6. Yeah, he could always roll 2 1s, but if he rolls 2 6s,
yeah. I
kind
of like the
that devil appears in a spot 60 feet within reach of him, and it's there until they die or he dismisses it.
Oh, so he could summon them behind you. Ooh.
Well, it's not even so much summoning behind you. If you're wizard, sorcerer, or warlock that hasn't been built for frontline capabilities, is in the back launching, say, launching firebolts and, well, not so much firebolts, but launching lightning bolts and chromatic orbs and stuff to try and whittle this thing down. Guess what?
He just chop down your backline.
He can pop 1 right beside him. He can pop 3 right beside them to where they now have advantage and they can't move unless they have Misty Step or Thunder Step.
Yeah, because even 1 would be a detriment to the backline.
And the design on the art for this thing, oh, that's terrifying. That's terrifying.
See, my picture won't pull up.
There it is.
Ooh,
that is ugly.
Nasty.
That is disgusting. And because of that, this thing's an 8.
I will give it an 8 with the polearm variant.
I'll give it an 8 without the polearm variant because of the fact that it can only use it once if it hits on the first attack, and then it has to go to the sting, so it's going to be missing out on its 3rd attack per action.
Yeah, but think if you're hit with the polearm, you're grappled, and then it stings you.
Well, yeah, that attack would be coming at advantage, but it's also still going to be losing the access to another 2d12 plus 4 that turn. Instead of just doing 2d8 plus 8.
Yeah, but it's 48 plus 8 versus 2d12 plus 4.
I think it's an even trade, honestly.
It is.
Because you're going to be getting...
Well, I forgot about... No, never mind. That's...
Realistically, with a plus 8, by this point, you're probably going to have at least like a level 7 player character, I would guess. So a plus 8,
yes.
You should be able to hit them with that, realistically, depending on how you're rolling that night.
Yeah.
And then when it comes down to doing the sting and advantage, I mean, they're not going to have any kind of disadvantage on that Constitution saving throw unless they already have a small or a low con. I mean, they're probably going to make that 14.
Yeah.
But even still, that's still going to be 5d6, and it's yeah, it's still 5d6.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
still-
not. It is not halved or anything. It's an automatic 5d6 poison damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is an absolute 9. Next up, we have the Braxat. It literally looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Triceratops.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
It's an AC of 18. Now, the description is natural armor and intellect fortress, which is really
it looks
interesting.
like a fortress.
162 health, or you can do the max of 13d12 plus 78 for a maximum of be 156 plus 78. 136. No, 236. I think. Immune to acid and psychic. Immune to charmed and frightened, with a dark vision of 60 feet and a passive perception of a whopping 11. Speaks common and giant. The Braxat's AC includes its intelligence modifier. That's why it says that. And it also makes 2 Great Club attacks per action. The Great Club is a plus 12 to hit, 10-foot reach, 3d8 plus 8 bludgeoning damage. Here's where it gets interesting. It has an acid breath on a recharge of 6, where it exhales a 15-foot cone of acid. Each creature within the cone must make a DC 18 Constitution saving throw or take 4d12 acid damage on a failed save, half as much on a successful one. And it also has possibly your favorite form of spellcasting in psionics.
Yeah.
The Braxat casts one of the following spells requiring no spell components and using intelligence for the spellcasting modifier with a spell save DC of 14. Compulsion, which is kind of okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fear.
Yeah.
Fear is really good.
I mean, wouldn't you be scared if you rolled up on this thing?
I can't tell you how many times I've used the fear spell in our online game, and it's turned out to be very useful.
Yeah.
Now, as a reaction, it's got Psionic Shield. When the Braxat would be hit by an attack or a magic missile spell, I think you see where this is going,
Mm-hmm.
that originates from a source the Braxat can see. The Braxat can create an invisible barrier of magical force around itself that lasts until the start of its next turn. This barrier gives the Braxat a +5 bonus to AC.
It's got a shield.
It's got shield 3 times per day to go up to a 23 AC.
Yeah.
This dude is simple.
Hey,
It's got a
yeah,
little
he's
bit of magic with it. And I
he's
do not
very
want
simple,
to fight this
but-
guy. I don't want to fight this guy.
No, I don't.
Absolute 8. Because this dude is cool. I think we're going to see a lot of that. Is the more, I think I've said it before, the more we go up in the CR level, the cooler these guys are going to get.
Did you see the full image?
No, I have not seen the full image.
Look at the full image.
How do I look at the full image?
Should be up at the top of there. There's one place that says images. On top of its character sheet. On the top left.
Oh my god. This dude is huge.
The fighter in this picture is up to his kneecaps.
Oh, it is a huge. Oh my. I did not see that. Holy crap.
Yes.
The Great Club is twice the size of the fighter.
This thing is
Is a 9.
Yes.
This dude is a 9. I have found my new favorite giant creature.
it is good. It is really cool.
Like, honestly, forget fire giants, forget cloud giants, which we're about to cover the cloud giant, but this dude is awesome. Like, seriously, he is cool.
Yeah, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Triceratops. But big.
Speaking of cloud giant, now is the cloud giant, which we just got done decimating in our game.
Listen, if you get thrown out of a castle,
Oh boy. Oh no.
I won't finish that.
Oh no.
I was thrown out of a Cloud Giant castle during our game Friday.
Fell 400 feet. Oh, it was funny.
And survived.
It was funny.
It was hilarious.
But the Cloud, this is what's the Cloud Giant armor class of 14 because they don't have armor.
Yeah, they're just
They're more of the spell casting portion of the giant race. Hit points of 200, or you can take the max of 16d12 plus 96. I'm not trying to do that math. With a movement speed of 40. Plus 10 to con saves and plus 7 to wisdom and charisma. With a plus 7 to insight and perception. With a passive perception of 17. So it's not going to be exactly easy to sneak around these guys.
no. Well, you did it.
Well, I didn't actually sneak. I just kind of walked around whistling Dixie and looking at stuff.
Yeah.
Speaks common and giant. It also has innate spellcasting. At will, it can do detect magic, fog, cloud, and light. 3 times a day for each spell, it can do featherfall, fly, misty step, and telekinesis. And once per day, it can do control weather and gaseous form. And it also has keen smell.
Oh, did you
No.
see what its spellcasting modifier is?
It is charisma.
They are warlocks or bards.
Or sorcerers.
Yeah, sorcerers. And nobody wants to be a sorcerer.
Hey, if you ask me, the sorcerer is more useful than the wizard,
That is true.
realistically. In a long run role playing game, the wizard's more useful. But in a straight just go in and kill stuff, the sorcerer.
But they still die when something breathes on them, so.
Oh yeah. It's just the sorcerer has the access to
All
sorcery points to
yeah, their
cast stuff as
quicken
bonus actions.
spells
So
and all that stuff.
quicken spell, 9th level fireball. Yeah. The giant makes 2 Morningstar attacks, plus 12 to hit with a 10-foot reach, 3d8 plus 8 piercing damage. Or it can chunk a rock at you. It picks Dwayne Johnson up by the back of the face and chunks him in your general direction.
I've been hit by that rock at least 4 times, I think, so far.
I have as well. And by now, we can definitely smell what the rock is cooking.
Yes.
With a range of 60 feet and disadvantage up to 240 feet, 4d10 plus 8 bludgeoning damage.
That's a long way to chunk a rock.
And as a variant, this is what happened to you. It can use fling.
Yeah.
The giant tries to throw a small or medium creature within 10 feet of it. The target must succeed on a DC 20 dexterity saving throw or be hurled up to 60 feet
Jeez.
horizontally in a direction of the giant's choice and land prone, taking 4 bludgeoning damage for each 10 feet it was thrown.
I was never going to make that deck save.
No. Because you got what? -1 to that?
No, I've got a 0.
Oh, you'd have to roll in that 20. Unless you use your arcane jolt or whatever it is.
The
Whatever brilliance. Where
Yeah,
you get
the-
+5. And a wind
I could've
aura.
done
The
that.
magical aura of wind surrounds the giant. The aura is a 10-foot radius sphere that lasts as long as the giant maintains concentration on it, as if concentrating on a spell. While the aura is in effect, the giant gains a +2 bonus to its AC against ranged weapon attacks, and all open flames within the aura are extinguished unless they are magical. Realistically, okay, if I can be honest for half a moment, giants are okay, but the cloud giants are the weakest of the race.
Yeah, they are pretty weak.
Well, I mean, outside of the hill giants, okay, but I mean, you kind of expect the hill giant to be fat, ugly, and lazy
Pretty much, yeah.
just because of the way they're depicted by the pictures. But the cloud giants are kind of a letdown in a way. They're still kind of cool, especially with the variants.
Yeah.
But as is, a regular Monster Manual Cloud Giant is about a 4 compared to the other giants.
Well, I think the only thing that makes Cloud Giants cool is their castles.
Oh yeah, it's the Sky Castle. But if you throw the variant in there, the variant bumps it up to about a 6.
Yeah, I could. It gets a 1 because it threw me out of the castle. No, they are a lot better with the fling. Yeah.
About halfway through the list.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be a long episode, buddy.
Coming back strong.
Deep Crow. If you've never seen a Deep Crow, I highly suggest that you do not go and look it up.
I
'Cause
mean,
it's
it-
terrifying.
It's amazing looking. I love it.
17 AC with 133 health, or you can take 14 D10 plus 56 for the max health of 196. 20-foot walking speed with an 80-foot flying speed. This is a evil griffin.
Yeah, pretty much.
Constitution of +8 and a wisdom of +6 to saving throws, with a +6 to perception and a +11 to stealth.
Mm-hmm.
Blind sight of 30 feet with a dark vision of 120 feet and a passive perception of 16. Good luck getting by this guy.
Well, don't griffins have a similar perception?
No, they do not.
I thought the griffins had a.
I think they got a 14.
Oh,
Has magic resistance,
of course.
because why not? Shadow stealth. While in dim light or darkness, the deep crow can take the hide action as a bonus action. It is a rogue griffin.
Yeah.
In sunlight sensitivity, so when it's in sunlight, it has disadvantage on attack rolls as well as perception checks that rely on sight. The deep crow makes 3 attacks, one with its mandibles. Yes, you heard that right. It does not have a beak, it has mandibles, and 2 with its claws. The mandibles are a +9 to hit with a 10-foot reach. 2d10 plus 5 piercing damage, and the target's grappled with an escape DC of 17. Until the grapple ends, the target is restrained, and the deep crow can't use its mandibles on another target. What it doesn't say, however, is that it can't use its 2 claw attacks on the grappled target with a +9 to hit and 2d6 plus 5 slashing damage at advantage.
Yeah, this thing's scary.
This thing is terrifying. And I think I want one as a mount now.
Yes.
It'd never happen.
You've got a griffin. This is my mount.
Nah. We need to just build you a homemade rocket.
We do. Hey, that could be next week after we get done with this fight.
Like, honestly, this deep crow is one of the coolest things I've read on the list so far.
And the picture of it enhances that.
Oh, yeah. It's a 9. It can't go any lower than that. It's a 9
Yeah.
for CR9.
To fight this thing would be scary. To use this as a mount would be even worse.
Let's go on to the rot troll. And it's disgusting.
And just shoot
Absolutely
with fire.
disgusting. That doesn't make it any less disgusting. 16 AC natural, 138 hit points, or you can take the max of 12d10 plus 72 for 192 health, and a movement speed of 30. I know it seems as if we're rattling through it, but this is kind of a long list, so if I'm going too fast, put it at half speed.
Well, I mean, you made the list, so
Yeah.
it's your fault.
+3 to perception, immune to necrotic, with a dark vision of 60 feet and a passive perception of 13. And it speaks giant, because why not? Rancid degeneration. At the end of each of the troll's turns, each creature within 5 feet takes 2d10 necrotic damage unless the troll has taken acid or fire damage since the end of its turn. That is not to counteract any kind of restoration or regeneration. That is to keep yourself from taking damage.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Because every other troll that you ever hear of has regeneration. And regeneration is kind of cool, but it's more useful or annoying, depending on which side of the fight you're on, than anything.
Yeah.
This is cool. This is straight up cool. Multi-attack. The troll makes 1 bite attack and 2 claw attacks. The bite is +8 to hit with the 5-foot reach, 1d10 plus 4 piercing damage, plus 3d10 necrotic. The claws, a +8 to hit, 5-foot reach, 200, yeah. 2d6 plus 4 slashing damage, plus 2d6 necrotic. So in one turn, he targets one single creature. The fighter's up there trying his best. He's up there, he's talked his junk to the rot troll in giant to where the giant can understand, and now the rot troll has had enough. He says, all right, bud, let's have some fun. You're taking 1d10 plus 4... 1d10 and 4d6 plus 12. Plus 3d10 and 2d6 necrotic.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damage.
So if he hits it all, you're taking 4d6 and 3d10 necrotic damage.
And here's the thing.
That's just necrotic.
There are some people, I don't, but there are some people that run their games in which if necrotic damage takes you below 0,
You're automatically
you
dead.
are not down. You are dead.
Yeah.
Dead. That brings some real danger to this because its environments are the desert, forest, swamp, and underdark. So there are 4 different places to where you could run into this guy.
4 very common places to run into
Well,
this guy.
yeah, 4 very common places. Not to mention, that's 4 different places. If the DM pulls up a random encounter generator or
Mhm.
random encounter table, and it's like, okay, roll a D100, we'll see what you run into. Oh, he rolled a 92? Okay, let's see. Oh, 3 rot trolls. Oh, 3 rot trolls.
Jesus, 3 rot trolls. That would be disgusting.
The rot troll is no less than a 6. Absolutely no less than a 6. It is the coolest troll that we've covered so
I will
far.
give it a 6, yes. But if they had added some kind of, I don't know, some extra flavor to the necrotic damage of the bite,
Well, I mean, it's already doing 3d10.
like you're diseased or something.
You know what? I could almost agree with that. If they had said something about them being poisoned or something like that for an hour, then it would have been a 7.
Yeah.
But what saved it from being a 5 was the degenerative stench. Is that what it was called?
Rancid degeneration, yeah.
Rancid degeneration, yeah. The rancid degeneration is what bumped it up from a 5.
Yeah, because that's just that extra little bit of spice.
Now we're moving on to the Shadow Horror.
This thing is pretty cool.
13 AC with 120 health, or you can take the max of 16d10 plus 32 for 192. There's a lot of this stuff that's winding up right around the 190 to 210 hit points
Yeah.
at max. And sometimes, I'll be honest, it's best to take the max to where you can have the fight last longer. Plus 7 to perception and plus 11 to stealth, and is vulnerable to radiant damage, but it is immune to the frightened condition. Dark vision of 120 feet and a passive perception of 17. Good luck getting by this guy.
Yeah.
Incorporeal movement. The horror can move through other creatures and objects as if they were difficult terrain and takes 1d10 force damage if it ends its turn inside an object. It's got shadow stealth, just as the deep griffin, the deep crow did. Shadow stride. As a bonus action, the horror can step into a shadow within 5 feet of it and magically appear in an unoccupied space within 5 feet of a second shadow that's up to 60 feet away. Both shadows must be cast by a small or larger creature or object.
Yeah.
Let me read that one more time to
Got
where
me
it can.
big shit on.
Let this sink in. Let this sink in, Eric. Okay. As a bonus action,
Uh-huh.
the horror can step into a shadow within 5 feet of it,
Yeah.
and magically appear into an unoccupied space
Uh-huh.
within 5 feet of a second shadow that is up to 60 feet away.
Uh-huh.
Both shadows must be cast by a small or larger
Creature or object.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
This thing can step behind the halfling and appear next to the barbarian as a bonus action.
Well, hold on. This is a ring wraith. It steps behind the hobbit.
Oh,
This is a rogue ring wraith.
You just made it a 10. You just made this thing a 10. That is the coolest ability I have ever seen from an undead creature or this is an aberration. This is one of the coolest abilities that I have ever read on this show.
I know. What is it?
Well-
Monks have shadow step.
Well,
What if they
it's
had
the-
this
it's the
shadow
shadow
step?
sorcerers and shadow monks and some warlocks can teleport in within dim light.
Yeah.
This steps into the shadow of your fighter and then teleports as a bonus action next to your wizard.
Imagine if we as player characters had this ability. I would go straight fighter and multi-class into a rogue or something, just enough to get this.
Oh my
Or barbarian
gosh.
multi-class into something just to get this.
You have any idea how broken that would be? Especially if you were facing like 3 of them?
That's why I want to.
This is something. Hold up. Wait a minute. This is something for late game. This is not a boss fight, okay? This is something for when you're going onto the aberration ship or the aberrational plane, okay? The 747 of the aberrations. All right? So this thing, you walk around the corner and you're in dim light. The whole daggum place is lit up by moonlight, okay? There's shadows everywhere. And it just so happens that there's 5 of these
Sitting in the shadows.
sitting in the shadows. And now they're teleporting in between the entire party because all they have to do is step into the shadow of the halfling gnome.
As a bonus action, stab, bonus action. Yeah.
We haven't even covered their actions yet. That was just the bonus action.
Yeah.
So it has multi-attack.
Who would have guessed?
To me, oh no. So the
Yes.
bonus action teleports up to 60 feet away. It just steps from one shadow to the other like a long stride. You know when you're trying to dodge that squeaky part in the hall? Like you're walking down the hallway and you know that part of the floor squeaks, so you just take a long stride to step over it?
Yeah, that's
Well,
the
let me
shadow
just step
horror.
over here real quick. It makes 3 attacks, one with its bite and 2 with its claws. The bite is +7 to hit, 4d8 plus 3 piercing damage.
Mm-hmm.
The claws is a +7 to hit, 3d6 plus 3 slashing damage, and the target must make a DC 16 wisdom saving throw or be frightened of the horror until the end of the target's next turn.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's got Lashing Shadows as an action. On a recharge of 5 to 6, each creature within 60 feet of the horror, except other horrors, must make a DC 16 dexterity saving throw or take 6d8 necrotic damage.
Yeah.
Dude, this thing is an absolute 10.
Oh, yeah.
This is the coolest creature on the list.
Yeah, just because the Shadow Strike.
This is the coolest creature on the list. Calling it now, 2024, whenever this is going to go up. Coolest creature of 2024 so far.
Yeah, we got a lot to go.
We got a lot to go.
But yeah, this is a really cool.
This is awesome, and do not be surprised if it doesn't show up in my game.
Oh, God. So we got to fight a Abominable Yeti and a Shadow Horror.
Eric, I've had an idea.
What?
You'll find out later.
10?
The Shadow Horror is a 10.
Yeah.
There
it's
is no
a
other
definite
place
10.
for it. It is up there with Jimmy Buffett, Bob Barker, Matthew Perry, Michael Gambon, and Tina Turner.
Yeah.
It is not only rolling on the river, but it's rolling through the shadows and rolling right up on you. Okay?
This thing is the Thunderdome.
It is the Thunderdome. It's the shadow within the Thunderdome.
Oh, that would be. Imagine. Oh, God.
Next up, we have something near and dear to Eric's heart because in our online campaign, he has the ability to transform into a large creature,
Yep.
such as my character and just about everybody else in the party. And that would be the Eulitharid. It's a large aberration, Mind Flayer, 15 AC and 127 health, or you could take the max of 17 D10 plus 14 for 184, with a movement speed of 30 feet. Plus 9 to intelligence and charisma saving throws, and plus 8 to wisdom. Plus 9 to arcana, plus 8 to insight and perception, and a plus 5 to stealth. With a dark vision of 120 feet and a passive perception of 18. It understands and speaks deep speech undercommon, and it has telepathy of up to 2 miles.
That's a long way.
2 miles of telepathy. And not once has Marcel taken the opportunity to use that.
I have. Not at 2 miles, but
We're
I
gonna
have.
next, We're trying it out next session.
Oh God. I mean, why not?
It's like, can you hear me?
I can.
Chuck, 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 chuck.
Creature sense. The Eleutherid is aware of the presence of creatures within 2 miles of it that have an intelligence score of 4 or higher.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It
Like
knows
if we start a dungeon crawl with me as an Ulithid,
you can just be like, there's one there, don't go around that corner yet.
we'll like be going through the caves. Yep, he's here. Kill. Don't go through. There's like 4 of them.
It knows the distance and direction to each creature as well as the creature's intelligence score, but can't sense anything else about it. A creature protected by a mind blank spell or a non-detection spell or similar magic can't be perceived by this manner. Wait a minute. Does that mean that the epic boon of hidden whatever it was, the epic boon that we were covering, the literal Skyrim crouch?
Oh yeah.
Because if you can block out Scry, can it block out this?
Well, no, because this is not Scry.
We have found a way past it.
This is echolocation of the mind.
This is better than the scrying spell.
Yeah,
because you can't get away from it with Skyrim Crouch.
but it's only limited to a range of 2 miles.
Screw those epic boons.
only limited to 2 miles.
only limited to 2 miles. Yeah, don't forget about that. Has magic resistance because why not?
Which comes in helpful.
Psionic hub. This is long. If an elder brain establishes a psychic link with the Eleutherid, the elder brain can form a psychic link with any other creature, and the Eleutherid can detect using its creature sense. Any such link ends if the creature falls outside of the telepathy ranges, of 2 miles.
2 miles.
Of both the Eleutherid and the elder brain. Whenever we get to the elder brain, we got to figure out what the telepathy range on that thing is. The Eleutherid can maintain its psychic link with the elder brain, regardless of the distance between them, so long as they are both on the same plane of existence. What? If the Eleutherid is more than 5 miles away from the elder brain, it can end the psychic link at any time, no action required. So if you want to do some sneaky deaky stuff on the elder brain, you can just take a trip 5.5 miles away and be like, it's gone.
Yeah, that's at will, but it can if you want to keep the link with the elder brain, then it's
as long as you're on the same plane of existence, you're good.
It's unlimited.
Tentacles, +9 to hit, reach of 10 foot, 4d10 plus 5 psychic damage. If the target is large or smaller, it is grappled with an escape DC of 14 and must succeed on a DC 17 intelligence saving throw or be stunned until the grapple ends.
Yep. Works great too.
Extract brain. This is what killed Kriv. +9 to hit. 1 incapacitated human grappled by the Eleutherid. 10d10 piercing damage. If this damage reduces the target to 0 hit points, the Eleutherid kills the target by extracting and devouring its brain.
And you want to know what? When I did that on our Friday night game, I almost cried.
I remember you telling me that. I remember you saying, "I hate you so much for ruining this for me."
It was such an exciting moment. Then I was like, dang.
Oh.
This killed Kriv.
I have caused trauma within my friends.
PTSD. Thanks,
I'm so
great.
proud of myself.
I'm going to bill my therapist to you.
For those of you that have played a good bit of Baldur's Gate 3 and gone into the Illithid skill tree, Mind Blast, recharge of 5 to 6, the Eleutherid magically emits a psychic energy in a 60-foot cone. I think it's only 30 foot for a regular
Yeah, I
mind
think
player.
it is.
Where was it? There it is. Each creature in that area must succeed on a DC 17 intelligence saving throw or take 4d12 plus 5 psychic damage and be stunned for 1 minute. A target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success. Oh, and it also has psionics.
Mhm.
So at will, it can do detect thoughts and levitate, and 1 time each per day. Dominate monster, feeble mind, mass suggestion, plane shift on itself, project image, scrying, and telekinesis.
This thing's going to find you somehow.
It has a 5th level scrying spell at will.
Yeah.
Well, not so much at will, but once per day.
Once per day.
Mass suggestion. That's 6th level. Dominate monster, 8th level spell. Feeble mind, that's an 8th level. You know what Feeble mind does, Eric?
What?
Let me do my let me try to do my movie voice.
It'll
You
work.
blast the mind of a creature that you can see within range, attempting to shatter its intellect and personality. The target takes 4d6 psychic damage and must make an intelligence saving throw. On a failed save, the creature's intelligence and charisma scores become 1.
It can take. Hold on, wait a minute. It can screw itself over in a way because if it does this and then it runs away, it can't figure out where it went. If it gets distracted by somebody else,
Yeah.
it's like, wait a minute, where did he go?
Which way did he go, George? Which way did he go?
You know that old, what is it? Dragon Ball where they're standing there like,
Oh, yeah.
you see him trying to find him, and this dude's just over here drooling in the corner in the shadows. It's just like, I don't know where I am, but I'm not in danger anymore.
I like tater tots.
Come over here, man. What are you doing? I'm eating a tater. I'm eating a tater.
Yeah, these Ulithids are,
This thing is an absolute 10.
yeah.
It's awesome. Just
And
like
it's very fun to play, too.
it's a mind flayer on some serious like bodybuilder Mr. Olympia levels of steroids.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah.
Like it's super strong.
Yeah, it is really strong.
It is really strong. Next up we have the Whistler. It's a large aberration and it's typically neutral evil. That's a freaky picture. 15 AC with 180 health, or you can take the max of 24d10 plus 48 for 288
Good
max
Lord.
health. 40-foot movement speed, plus 7 to dexterity saves and plus 8 to charisma, with a plus 11 to stealth. And it is resistant to psychic, immune to charmed, exhaustion, and frightened, blind sight of 60 feet, and a passive perception of 13. Speaks deep speech with a telepathy of 120 feet. Blurred form. Attack rolls against the Whistler are made at disadvantage unless the Whistler is incapacitated.
Yeah, that's
dumb.
with that health pool, this is
That's
stupid.
Dumb. Unusual nature. It doesn't require air, food, drink, or sleep. The Whistler makes 3 psychic swipe attacks. Plus 8 to hit, reach of 10 foot, 2d10 plus 4 psychic damage.
Shoo.
That's 6d10 plus 12 if all 3 hit.
Yeah.
And that's psychic damage. You know what's the one damage type that the Bear Totem Barbarian doesn't get resistance to?
Psychic. Yeah.
It gets everything else. Otherworldly Melody on a recharge of 5 to 6. The Whistler telepathically whistles an otherworldly melody into the minds of up to 2 creatures it can see within range of its telepathy of 120 feet.
Hmm.
Each target must make a DC 16 wisdom saving throw or take 6d10 psychic damage and become frightened of the Whistler for 1 minute. A frightened creature can repeat this saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success.
This thing's scary.
It gets worse. I just scrolled down.
Yeah, you finally scrolled down.
Surreal step. The Whistler teleports up to 20 feet to an unoccupied space it can see.
Yeah.
You think you're safe over there launching your magic missiles from 120 feet away. Nope, it gets just close enough.
Yeah.
Yep. Spell Sniper and Sharpshooter is not going to save you from this thing. 'Cause
Yeah,
it
this
moves, what, 30? Moves 40. Bonus action for another 20. And then there it is with its otherworldly melody.
Mm-hmm.
Now, luckily, it's a pretty low save. But even still.
Well, it's a 16 wisdom save.
Realistically, it's kind of empty for what I expected it to be.
But it's doesn't have a lot, but what it does have is really scary.
Yeah, it can really upset the flow of a battle.
Okay. It's 290 health almost.
Yeah.
And everything that
288.
everything that attacks it has disadvantage. Unless it's
Yeah.
incapacitated.
This thing, it's an 8.
That health pool,
It's an 8.
plus
sure.
that, and it's 30-foot teleport. And it can frighten you.
Yeah. It's an 8. It is not on the same level as the Shadow Horror,
No.
but it is good. It is
But
really good.
if you're really into the game, like you've got your really good imagination, and you see a picture of this thing when he tells you it's coming at you, that would be one of the most frightening things I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, because it's kind of goofy looking, but if you imagine it coming at you with its head like distorting and jerking everywhere, oh god, yeah.
And for our final creature, I made an executive decision. We've covered some of the other dragons in the past. We know
Mhm.
what the chromatic dragons are. We know what the regular, blue and red and black dragons are.
Yeah.
This is a young solar dragon.
Oh.
16 natural armor, 178 hit points, or you can do the max of 17d10 plus 85 for 255. Yes, 255 max health. 20-foot movement speed, but in 60-foot flying speed with hover. Plus 6 to dex and wisdom saves, plus 9 to constitution, and plus 5 to charisma. Perception of plus 10 with plus 6 to stealth. Immune to radiant damage, and immune to being blinded. Dark vision of 120 feet with a passive perception of 20.
Ooh.
Speaks Draconic. The flyby. The dragon doesn't provoke opportunity attacks when it flies out of an enemy's reach.
Yeah.
Oh, and it doesn't require air. Multi-attack. The dragon makes 1 bite attack and 1 tail attack. The bite is plus 9 to hit. 10-foot reach. 2d6 plus 5 plus 2d6 radiant damage. The tail is plus 9 to hit. 1d6 plus 5 bludgeoning damage. Photonic Breath. Awesome name. Recharge of 5 to 6. The dragon exhales a flashing mote of radiant energy that travels to a point the dragon can see within 120 feet of itself. Then blossoms into a 20-foot radius sphere
Yeah.
centered on that point. Each creature within the sphere must make a DC 17 Constitution saving throw or take 8d10 radiant damage on a failed save or half as much on a successful one. He's got an innate fireball that's radiant damage as his breath weapon.
This is an anime attack.
That is awesome.
I mean, yeah, there's tons of animes you see like it's a beam.
Well, it's
And
not,
when
it's
it
not
hits,
even a
it just
beam.
boom.
It's not a beam. It's literally a little mustard seed that goes flying across the battlefield. It just lands and goes.
Yeah. This thing is from an anime, I bet you.
That thing is. I mean, even
It's
without
cool.
that. Now, I will say the picture. It kind of looks like a chicken.
It is a fire chicken.
It is literally a. Well, it's a sun chicken. Okay?
Well, hold on. I was reading the
radiant
info.
sun chicken.
I was reading the info on it.
yeah.
It is born from the heart of a star.
Okay, this thing's a 10.
It's the egg is obsidian.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Just a little bit of its description, since we're starting to cover that. A solar dragon, also known as a radiant dragon or a sun dragon, is born in the heart of a star. It divides its time outside of its lair between patrolling its territory and hunting for food. The dragon has a serpentine body, a pair of ventral limbs ending in long fins, nebulous wings that give off light, and gleaming multicolored scales. It can see clearly even in blindingly bright sun.
I would see this more of in a space campaign. Like the solar ships and stuff like that.
Wait, okay. The description of how they're hatched is awesome. A solar dragon egg has an obsidian shell, shiny, black, and opaque.
Mm-hmm.
When an egg is close to hatching, the shell becomes translucent, allowing the light from the unborn wormling's wings to shine through.
That is a beautiful
That
description.
is awesome. This is a 10.
Yeah,
It is a hands down 10 and the coolest dragon we've covered so far.
we've definitely got to cover the adult version of this.
Oh, let me see if let me just. I wonder if there's an ancient version. Give me a second.
Oh, an ancient version would be ridiculous.
Let me get rid of this filter here where I can go to different challenge ratings.
Do, 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 do,
Okay.
do.
Oh.
Oh,
Ho, ho, ho.
that is awesome.
Oh, that is definitely going on the CR21 list. Oh, I'm doing a little bit of research here. Because that. Oh,
Does the
I mean,
breath get better?
I,
Or the seed?
it goes. Oh, ho, ho. It goes from, what was it, 120 feet in a 20-foot radius?
Yeah.
240 feet in a 40-foot radius.
Good Lord.
And it goes up by 4 damage dice.
And the way that thing looks is just ridiculous.
Huh. And it's also got Blinding Brilliance as a legendary action.
Oh, yeah, it is. The Radiant Dragon.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Okay, this is by CR21 we will have forgotten about this, so we'll be able to react to it crazily again. Regional effects. Okay, a solar dragon customarily layers in a star's radiant core or nests in a gigantic hollowed out rock engulfed by the star's blinding radiance. A star in which a solar dragon makes its lair has the following effects on creatures. A creature that is within 10 miles of the star or
Good
inside is blinded by its intense light unless the creature has protective gear to shield its eyes, such as goggles of night or a similar form of eyewear.
Artificer! We need goggles of night.
I want you to react solely to this name, Stellar Incineration.
Ooh.
That just sounds cool, dude. Any creature that enters the star or starts its turn inside it takes 132 radiant damage.
Good Lord.
That's the average of 24d10. 24d10 radiant damage just for entering the star. I found my new favorite dragon.
I want to play Space Adventure. And that be the final boss.
Look, it's got a picture of the egg.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously, I have found my new favorite dragon. The young one looked like a chicken. This one's freaking terrifying.
Yeah, the young one does look like a chicken.
It's gargantuan, so it's
It's
probably going to be like 120 foot long.
It's a sun chicken.
Oh my gosh, this thing is awesome.
It does look really cool.
That's the CR9 list. Before we get to where we're losing our minds too much, we're going to go ahead and end. Thank you so much for listening and coming back for another potential year of TID&D. We hope that we can continue to entertain you by losing our minds for the rest of 2024. Next week, we will be covering the submissions for the Power Gaming Tournament.
Yep.
So be sure to tune in for that as we cover all the submissions that we've gotten from, we got some from Amanda, a.k.a. The Wife. Marie from Potato Candy. We've made a couple of ourselves. We've got a few off of Facebook that were sent through Messenger, and one of the players in the Friday night game has sent hers in as well. So be sure to listen in and get an idea as to what characters will be fighting in that. The full release of the actual Power Gaming Tournament in full detail and the fight probably won't be released until about March.
Yeah, something like that.
Probably March because it's going to be a lot of work.
Yeah, we got a lot of
So
stuff to do
be
for that.
prepared for that. And another update. We will be going back into classes and subclasses this year. We're bringing back the heavy hitter, folks, so hang on tight. If you did not see what happened at Hasbro,
Yeah.
and this could get us sued, but we have no money, so it's okay. They let go of a lot of people right before Christmas, which is sometimes that happens. Sometimes it's necessary within a business standpoint. However, they just had their largest fiscal year this year.
Yeah,
They had a
it's
very
been good
successful
year for-
fiscal year this year. So, for this year, we're going to ignore them and we're going to move on to third-party publishers. So, the episode after the character review, we'll be diving into the fighter once more. And after we're going to go ahead and do a cover of the fighter class again.
Yeah, a quick overview.
And then we're going into Kobold Press's subclasses.
Yeah, I'm excited about
We're
this.
going into the fighter and cleric and warlock and wizards of Midgard. We're so excited for that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we can get Robert Fairbanks back on the show for some of those episodes, or if just one. Hopefully, we can get him back on the episode on the show soon. In the future, anyway, as he works with Kobold Press, he can tell us more about the company. So we
Yeah,
got a lot. We got
I'd
a
like
lot
to meet him because I haven't got to meet him yet.
We've got a lot to look forward to for this year, as far as the show goes. So hold on tight, folks. Put your seatbelts on. Grab your solar dragons, and
I don't know if grabbing the Solar Dragon would be a smart idea.
well, it didn't say anything about grabbing him. Okay, you can ride him. Just keep your eyes shut.
Wear your goggles of night while you ride.
Yeah,
the dragon.
grab your goggles of night. Grab your solar dragon, and ride him into battle against the hive mind of Hasbro.
The Artificer would be a great rider for
It would be.
because he can make the goggles of night. I'm sure he could make a saddle for this thing.
Oh, I'm sure. Thank you so much for listening. Keep rolling high, and we'll see you in the next one.